Welcome back, everybody, to the Welsh Esports Rocket League number 2. We're here for our third week, and it's a very, very action-packed week, especially the match we've got on top of us. It is the Robins versus the Pirate Esports, and I am joined today by the amazing Blue Blazing. How are you doing on this fine afternoon?
I'm doing well. I've been excited for this matchup for quite some time. I've been looking at the records of the Pirates and the Robins and looking at them, looking at Robins number 1, Pirates number 4. Let's see a good game right now.
See, the game is amazing. We have DJ kicking it off straight away, getting it right across the other side of the pitch with velocity, sticking to their name, getting there just as quickly. A demo there from Smashy and Pluvo picking up the field. Of course, Smashy and Pluvo both on Team Hosky together in other seasons of of Rocket League. And I believe these players have also met up before, and I believe it went in favour of the Robins.
Well, I can agree with that. The Robins have been looking pretty strong so far in the last 2 weeks. We're already seeing some good action coming from Motion already in the sky, looking for a pass towards the midfield, but can't quite find it. Now Smashy returning the favor, not having a lot of boost there, but finding a good pass for Pluvo. No connection. Both these teams kind of figuring each other out, just playing a little bit slow for this first game one.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow this game on, but last time the teams played it was quite slow. As you see loads of players crossing over the edge, and Pluvo crosses in a goal there, breaking that deadlock and making it a bit more of a fast-paced game in a really awkward angle as well.
Yeah, beautiful angle from Pluvo to just dunk it on DJ, and I gotta tell you, that's a great way to start this game for the Pirates. But here we go now. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, an amazing way to start it. I believe the Robins were the ones who did take it all the way, basically from the start of each game in the past match. So it's going to be nice to see how these players convert it with the Pirates taking the lead this time over. Maybe trying to get a bit of their own medicine across to the Robins and say, you know what, we're going to go for this win and make sure we go for it hard.
Absolutely there in motion. Looking for a nice dribble, getting the musty off the side wall. Looking for the pass to midfield. Velocity there, but Vivi getting it away. Now the return. Vivi looking for the bump from Smashy, and he gets it 2-0 for Pirates.
An amazing 2-0 for Pirates there. They're really showing how much they want this win compared to the last time, and they're really showing that they may have read their opponents like the book. So they're going to say, you know what? We learned from mistakes last time. We're going to push ourselves, put loads of pressure on. The CK go through. Pluvo wins it, but gets demoed straight away. But a sacrificial demo, because it does allow for a good clearance, though it does come straight back as DJ tries to put it in. Pluvo does clear off the line and gets it straight into the flow of play again. Just kind of juggling it around the team, making sure nothing goes in a goal. But Velocity says no to that, taps it in himself, and we come to a closer deadlock. 2-1 to Pirates.
Yeah, that's great vision coming in for the Robins, seeing and noticing that double commit coming from the Pirates and just getting an easy double tap pass. So there we go. Good placement there for the Robins to bring them back into this game. About 3 minutes remaining, almost there, but Pluto on the back wall looking for something to get a pass. VVUQ not finding a lot, getting bumped on the corner as well. Velocity saving it from the last minute ditch there, and we're looking at this now. Both teams very aggressive for their pushes. All 3 players from both sides just trying to get any offense that they possibly can get.
Yeah, they're trying to get a hold of any offense possible, especially when you get that goal so close. But we have Vuk here making sure that closeness is further pushed away. So Vuk just had pretty much an open flow of play here. Went in, slightly aerial, didn't want to go too far, and then just got it through. We did see Motion try to get a quick save to it, but it's just one of those awkward angles where if you go and save for it, you can maybe nudge it all the way across the goal, maybe actually nudge it in your goal. So kind of just put every effort in, just see just what happened, and we'll pull out a Schrodinger's kind of a play. If it doesn't get too far, as Velocity is there to save the day on the opposing side. So Pirates being very dominating to this first portion of the best of series, but will they keep hold of that going for the rest of play? As they are starting to dwindle a little bit, and a couple goals and a couple plays are passing through them.
No doubt about that. And I'm noticing something about the Pirates side is that whenever they go for that offensive play, they're really looking for that bump to shot ratio. And I'm seeing this now. Smashy trying to go for a lot of bump plays, trying to look for that air dribble bump there as well. We just saw when Velocity saved it. So might be able to look at those plays very carefully and see if they can get another goal off of it. But they're still in the lead 2-up. So they possibly just need to play a little more passive, a little more safer, and not do anything like that where it could have been a goal from velocity, but just not enough speed to get up.
Not enough speed to get behind it. It comes straight back into possession of the Pirates and Smashy. And Smashy has been great in these styles of plays before, where you can just collect up from the back, bring it forward, and shove it into your face opponents and give them really little reaction time. And you can just score from that, if not force them to fail to give your opponents the opportunity to score. Just go through. Vuk gets that 4th in though. Just a very, very open flow of play. And it was a blink and you miss it moment. They crossed it across. There's no one there to collect it. And a very, very good play from Smashy and Vuk to get that 4th.
Absolutely. We saw Vuk already on the left side there, trying to stall a little bit of time, 50-50ing it all the way up to the ceiling. So now a minute 30 with 3 goals down. It's going to be a tough bargain for the Robins, but if they can start pushing that offense, get past that midfield line, they can possibly bring this stuff back to it. And there it is, a good start, but no one there for the Robins to secure that goal. Smashy back at it, looking for the goal, not quite finding it off of Motion's touch. Motion a little bit awkward, not a lot of boost either, so doesn't work out for them. But we're seeing this now. Both teams kind of want to stand still on the midfield line a lot of the time. This is really good for the Pirates as they're wasting as much time as they possibly can, wasting a lot of the boost for the Robins. Now a 1v1 situation. Blue looking for the bump, but not finding it. DJ with the incredible save.
DJ making an incredible save and just allowing the play to continue flowing as it is. Not very good benefit to them because they are still that 4-1 deficit, but you still are looking for that goal difference. You're still looking for maybe having some glimpse of hope to continue play going in your favor, maybe to get those 3 goals back if you really want to. But it does look like the Pirates are really, really dominating. You see Smashy playing it on forward, puts it in the air, ready, but another collect, Vuk, Smashy, and Pluvo all going for that same play, but Pluvo gets it in from the side there, 5-1, and what was looking to be possibly a repeat from that last time where it was just going to be the Robins sitting there and shining, it's just turning into them sitting there like saying ducks and letting the shining happen for the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, Pluvo sending their opponents, smashing them, sending them to Pluto, to be honest with you, and we're seeing another goal possibly here. DJ finding the coverage and getting it away. But I mean, looking at this Robins team, they really need to think about this, take some time in the break and figure out what they can do at DFH Stadium next game, because looking at it, Smashy, Pluvo, and Vuk are just dominating this Manfield night.
They are completely dominating it and just, they're really, really pushing for it now. That 6th goal, getting that goal difference is all good, but sometimes a little bit of salt in a wound, especially with these last seconds ticking on the clock. They could maybe go for another one, maybe see a consolation goal coming from the opponents just to say, we want to narrow that goal difference down to a 4 differential rather than a 5 differential, but it still won't hold too strong. You still got the rest of the games in this match to try and complete it, but Pirates really showing what they want to do with this full-on match just from that game 1. And when you go down 6-1, you're going to get your head low, you're going to be facing down, and you're not going to be really happy going to that next game. But at the same time, the Robins can exploit how happy the Pirates are going to be. They're going to be riding a high, they're going to be a little bit cocky in their plays going to the next few games, and they can say, okay, you won 6-1, but you've put all of your skills into that first game. We're going to put all our pressure on the second game and really dig under your skin where we found those gaps, and then start to exploit our own plays, and then maybe get maybe like a cheeky 1-0 win, 2-1 win, or maybe even get a thrashing of themselves going into game 2.
Absolutely. Let's see if the Robins can find those exploits. As Pirates have been dominating that midfield ever so slightly, and we're looking at them as well. I was mentioning this before, that a lot of those demo plays are being very, very used by the Pirates. Every player seeing Pluvo smash the goalie. We're seeing Smashy himself try to get any demos across that backboard line. And so if Robin can really take advantage of that, look for that counter play as soon as they go for the demo and go for that 2v1 on that goalie, they could possibly bring this back to win this series. But time will tell. Let's see if they can change this at DFH game 2 starting soon.
Yeah, sitting in DFH, and the players all getting in the game. We're seconds away from starting this match of the series, so it's going to come down to what tactics they learned from that first game. We know that Pluvo and Smashy work very, very well together on Team Hosky, having that little bit of detriment last time when these teams met, with Vuk kind of just gelling with the team, settling in, see what they can do. but we're going to see if that can, things are starting to change where they've just seen a lot of team play, team effort go into it. Straight up the side there with Vuk, bring it in, being really a carrier, like carrying the ball through, getting in position where the team can score, and then Pluvo just there steals the ball from a defensive play. 1-0 within the first few seconds of the game, and we're just seeing a rinse and repeat of what we saw earlier in game 1. Get Pluvo or Smashy up to the front of the pitch, have Vuk be a bit of a decoy, be a bit of a ball carry, and then smash it when you feel the opportunities there. 1-0 to the Pirates.
Absolutely. Hey, Smashy just being there was super, super strong for them. I mean, being that midfield presence, you got that block from Motion's touch, so that was really good. Pluvo does what he does best. Get that demo, leaving Smash with an open midfield. Trying to get through, gets through 2, looking for that midfield pass right now, and that's a beautiful dime, but nothing there. There we go, Velocity looking for that counter play. Vuk being quick enough to bring that back. Motion looking for the shot, but just a little wide. Now, Robins now know a play that they can bring out. They can wait for that midfield to get to their half of the field and start to counter that. So let's see if Robins can start doing that to bring this game back. DJ looking for the shot. Smashy bringing into play here, and oh my, the passing play from Pirates, it works so well.
Pirates absolutely displaying what they love to do in this series, where they're playing it aerially, they're playing it all over the pitch and just doing that same again. Whereas it was Smashy into Pluvo last time, it's now Pluvo into Smashy. They're swapping their roles, both with a supportive player and that final striking player, and it's working so well. They're also playing that same tactic of play it wide, force the opponents wide, and then dart it into the middle, get it straight across. We're seeing Robins are trying to replicate that, but it isn't quite working in their favor. Pluvo gets it in a very open and steady place. Vuk is there to support them and bring it back, and it's in that same situation. DJ falls very high and out. That's all good and well, but at the same time, if you're going up and beyond, that's just another player who can dip underneath you and just go and score another goal. Smashy collects it quite carefully and just goes to that side again, just displaying they know what they're doing. They've read and rehearsed everything against this team, and they're clipping the wings of these Robins today.
Absolutely. I mean, Velocity in motion, almost getting that pinch there with his team, but just couldn't quite find the angle to get the goal. DJ looking for another goal as well, but the patience from the defense of the Pirates is doing so well. With now 3 minutes remaining, Motion really needs to find their team and get a play going, because they're just handing it off to the goal super far away, giving the Pirates an easy save. So let's see if they can adjust, maybe get their ball to be a little bit closer towards that enemy net and try to get that goal. But we'll see here, almost half the game remaining now. Motion looking for that flip reset, finding the 50-50 as well, but Pluvo quick enough to get away from Velocity.
Pluvo quick to get away from Velocity, and as you said, they're going for flip reset and 50-50. That's stuff that you can do to have a controlling play of that ball, but against players of this caliber, you can't really try and pull the tricks out against them. DJ goes for a shot though and gets the score in, so it does bring it a little bit closer, but it is the same that happened last time, where the goal came a little bit too late to really consider having it be a game changer. It's not the latest in the game, but that 2-minute 26 on the timer now, you've got to really assert your presence to say, okay, we can get that second, get that third, if not draw it to overtime. We do see a very offensive play going into that kickoff where there's a lots of demos. It does allow Smashy though to come out on top and get right close to that goal, but Motion is there to collect it on the outside. And we're seeing a little bit of shakiness coming out now from the Pirates, where the Robins are really going through and exploiting it, but it's still not quite enough to stop them in their tracks and allow for overall control of the play and then offense play coming out from these Robins, because Pluvo and Smashy are just picking it up where they drop it the second it goes out of their possession.
Absolutely, that's a really strong 50-50 there coming from Motion there to keep that in the corner. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff now from the Robins. They're being a lot more patient. They're playing towards the touches of this Pirates team, excuse me, and looking super fresh. Here we go. Motion looking for that musty fake, not finding it to Velocity, unfortunately, but they are keeping this pressure. They're keeping this midfield presence and looking for Velocity right here, looking for the shot, but just goes too high.
Going too high, and Robins, Icarus all flying a little bit too close to the sun there, and they're just showing what they want to do isn't what they need to be doing. It just goes across the face of the goal there from, I believe that was either Pluvo or Smashy. So they're just letting them get too close to that goal, and that's where their mistakes are coming from. They're trying to play too harshly, and as soon as it gets to that point where they can't keep up with it, Pluvo, Smashy, Vuk, all three of them have some sort of contingency to collect the ball. We're now going into the last seconds of this match, and it is going very much in the favor of the Pirates with the Robins through velocity, get that second very, very close to the tick over of overtime. Still not the end of it. We can't have too many eggs or too many baskets right now, but it is going to look like it is that situation where both teams are going to be on the edge of their seats to control the state of the game, force an overtime, if not just get that late last second win that I know a lot of these players are capable of for what they've done in previous iterations of this tournament.
Now, like you mentioned, pushing that overtime, we've seen Pirates play super aggro because they had that goal lead, but now since it's tied up, they can't really be as aggro, they can't be as pushy, and they really need to play a little bit more passive. And I mean, passive is a word, but Pluvo is gonna take that, put into salt, because that was almost an amazing clip there. And DJ finding the pitch off of Smashy and putting it into that. There we go, Robin's first lead of the series.
Robin's getting that lead and just doing exactly what you just said there. They were waiting for the Pirates to go a bit too aggro and then slip up somewhere. And by going aggro, they put the ball a little bit too high, and the DJ slipped into that canal that was left and was able to just dart it across the pitch and use every last struggle to get it through. Now, all the Robins have to do is play a little bit defensively. They've been aggressive. They've been and matched what the Pirates are doing, and now they just got to sit back, relax, and make sure they defend. Sometimes offense could be your best defense, but in a situation like this, you want to be defending DJ, luckily licking it across the top of the goal there, making sure nothing goes in. There is another attempt there from Vuk and Smashy combined. Pluvo there to pick up the pieces, try and nudge it in, but Velocity stops it in its tracks. DJ has an open goal to go with that last second of the game, and the last little bounce does allow to go in. Kept up in the air, but the Robins do take it. It does drop from a Pluvo touch.
Beautiful save there at the last second there from Smashy, and Pluvo just barely missing it out of the corner of his car. We have a series on our hands. Last game, we had the Pirates go 6-1 against the Robins because of their aggro playstyle, keeping it on their half and just playing dominantly. But now we're seeing the Robins play a lot more patient, knowing that they can win a lot of these 50-50s, get these pinches, and overall play more as a team to combat this Pirate aggressiveness. And so it's really looking good for the Robins, now being a one-on-one series, looking to go into the next match very soon at Sovereign Heights. What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be another one of those close ones. I think that they've had that bitterness worn off. I think the Pirates, they rode their high, and the Robins really worked off of that. Where the Pirates are playing very aggro in that second game because of what they did in the first game, I think the Robins could just then go and say, okay, if you're going to play aggro, we'll play very defensively. And by allowing that sort of situation, they can then say, okay, you know, you played aggro, we played defensively, so what if we play aggro this time round? Oops.
Indeed, looks like
it's
going good. Oh, looks like our fellow caster left the match, unfortunately, but don't worry, I'll cover what I can. Velocity going up with a nice touch, getting it on the backboard, looking for a play to DJ, and DJ 50-50 madness, getting it through and playing it super beautiful.
I am now getting back into the match. My computer did decide to disconnect for a second and join the game as a player on accident, but we are back. We are looking at a 1-0 there coming in. So the Robins really putting that pressure on. It does go straight through again at all, but just stopped in its track by motion and DJ combined. So, you know, the game looked like it was going to be a 1-1, but then saved on the last second there. And this is something that is going to be learned by both teams. That, like, the Robins were letting it go past them too quickly in that early stage. Pluvo, though, lets it happen straight away and just says, you know what, let's get that extra goal in. Let's just join in the action with those goals.
Absolutely. I mean, DJ with the unfortunate touch off the side goal. I mean, you hate to see it, but happens to the best of us. Now back to nil, tied 1-1. And here we go. Smashy looking to break that tie. Smashy looking for the top barrier, not finding it all. Pluvo keeping this midfield pressure, but can't allow that to happen. DJ looking for the backboard clear. Double commit on the Pirates, so it could be a little bit awkward, but Velocity not finding the angle they wanted.
Velocity not fond of that angle and not really fond of the rest of the team. Doesn't allow them to exploit it too much, but at least they're still at 1-1. The cushion is there to keep them nice and happy. Velocity does put it right forward though and breaks through the fence like Butter with motion to pick it up as well, but is forced out by Vuk. Vuk is being a very, very defensive piece in this play, and it's really helping out Smashing Pluvo. Whilst they go and attack, they sit back and defend. If they need a little bit of help, they have the ability to push that back up and be fast enough with all those boosts they are saving to bring it on through. Pluvo goes for a shot on the outside, doesn't get it. Vuk goes for that one and gets a nice little goal to commiserate it. 2-1 to the Pirates. It looks like both teams are going very defensively. They're playing very a middling style now just to keep it away from the goal as much as possible. But it's just not enough, and these players are just finding those opportunities where they can instead of forcing opportunities, which was both a benefit and a detriment in those first couple of games.
No, absolutely there, absolutely. And Smashy looking for the touch off the back of his car, not quite finding it. And Motion just bringing it up, and I will say that low boost is going to take advantage of Vuk, and it does. Oh no! Oh no,
failing
no, no.
when every player hates to fail with those boosts. Dodging and weaving around the boost, of course, to try and get to the ball, but what boosts were left were not enough to bring it through, and just an amazing across the pitch goal there. It's going to be something to think about. Maybe the IGL is going to have a little bit of a smack talk for that player there, but that could be encouragement. It could be enough to put it through. Motion goes for another, hits a crossbar. We do see Velocity come through for another one, does bounce off the crossbar again, and now we're seeing what we want to be seeing from these Robins. They're putting the pressure on themselves. DJ has a very open goal to go through, but Pluvo comes through and jumps and takes it away. Velocity comes to pick up the pieces, but fires it a little bit too far. Nice and easy for the Pirates to pick up, especially when their goal is just as easy to shoot in, and unfortunately Motion knocks it in the back of their own goal. So we're now seeing this play convert from a very defensive in the midfield sort of area to a very, very offensive sort of play. It's going from side to side, and is allowing teams to really wait for that moment where the defense is a little bit too weak because of the offensive plays, and just smash it through the defense and hope for the best.
Indeed, and Vuk already going up in the air. It might have been a bad play there as Velocity is coming up for that shot, but again, not getting in there quick enough and not playing the pass. And now it's 2-3 with almost half the game remaining with a 1-goal lead for Pirates. This could be good, and Pluvo doing what he does best, psyching the goalie out and getting the number 4 goal.
Getting that fourth goal quite close to that other goal is going to leave a bit of a bitter sweet nature for both sides there. The bitterness, of course, going towards those Robins who did so well to keep this at a draw, but then that sweetness coming out for the Pirates, getting through and showing what they can do best in a situation where they're not overly happy. We see Velocity does go and take some play, does cause a demo, which leaves a detriment for a couple seconds for the Pirates, and Velocity brings it away from Vuk, who goes for that, gets that taste from the goal earlier, brings it on back. DJ controls it down on the goal, and it's just going to be a rinse and repeat here. It's going from one side, it's going to the other side, and we're watching Rocket League. We're watching a game of ping pong right now, because both teams doing their best to stop it, keep it away from their goal, but also trying to keep it in that net as well.
Indeed, that ping pong message is very true in a lot of these Rocket League games, but apparently in this game, it's right next to those goals, and Motion is not next to his goal. Shot, it's in. Oh, Motion, no.
Motion just in the wrong place at the wrong time there. Was really happy to save those sorts of goals earlier, but just left his post a little bit too long. DJ was on the attempt to run back and get that, but was stopped just with that fear of maybe getting demoed or maybe just being a little bit too slow. DJ though does return quite quickly. DJ and Velocity get quite close to that goal, but Smashy on track to be in front of it and stop it. And now there's an open goal on the opposing side of the field. Pluvo and Smashy love seeing these situations. They dart side one. They are forced out by Motion, but Vuk is there to also force the other sides out. And now we're seeing the repeat of that game one, really, where the Pirates are using those edges to their advantage, because they'd have one player go for the middle, then the other two would go around the edge, whether that be supporting in the middle, supporting the edges. Smashy, though, takes that support to another level, accepts it, and knocks it in the back of the net. 6-2. Less of a damage from the first game, but just enough to put the Pirates closer to the second win of this series.
I mean, I've got to hand it to that pitch pass. Goodness gracious, what a play, what a pass. It was beautiful, but I got handed off to them and the Pirates. Looking at that, what you just said about the repeat of game one, I'm seeing that aggressiveness coming again from the Pirates. They know they have that goal lead. They can be a lot more aggro. They can salvage a lot more goals in their half, so they're not really worried about the defensive side of things as much as they are on the aggro. So it's really good to see them back in their form, and that's something to note for the Robins, is that you cannot lose the early game towards the Pirates, or else you see this aggressiveness, you see this aggro from Pluvo, Vuk, and Smashy. So we'll probably see a game 4 here soon.
We'll probably be seeing a game 4. Like we're ticking seconds away from this game. There's a likelihood you can maybe get enough goals in these last couple of minutes to maybe tie it up and get the win. It's a very, very low likelihood of a non-0-1, but I don't want to put too much pressure on our players here. Smashy air dribbling all the way across the other side of the pitch and only gets stopped by Motion, who is only quickly stopped again by Vuk. So I think it's just a case of these players again are playing for that goal difference and going for goal after goal. Smashy gets 7th. They've got the same goal difference as that first game now, so they've already neutralized really what happened in that game 2 and can quite comfortably say, you know what, we've got that 7, we can go for more and more and more, just keep stacking it up. And as much as I love seeing games like this in Rocket League where you see the double-digit goals, you see the goal difference hitting double digits, but it's always nice to just, you know, let the players play it out and see where it comes from. We do see a little bit of an attempt at the demo. Vuk is dragged all the way back, but it's going to be all she wrote as the curtains draw in on this last 10-second countdown. Going to go to the Pirates and just going to go back to the drawing board for the Robins for the next couple of minutes as we wait for that game 4 to come around.
Wow, that was unnecessarily great to see. Wow, what a flip reset pass from Smashy. But there we go. That is going to be it for game number 3. Pirates putting on a show once again. Definitely a highlight clip of Vuk there with, or excuse me, Pluva. Exactly, it was Vuk with the pinch pass off the sidewall. Definitely a thing to keep look at. But looking at Deadeye Canyon in the Oasis, that's going to be really good for game number 4. Robins really need to bring this back. You know, they've shown how they can be passive. They've shown their aggressiveness, but Pirates just taking advantage of that midfield is what you don't want to see if you're a Robins fan. So let's see if they can bring back that midfield pressure, maybe get a little bit more boost and make sure they get their hits on the ball, as we saw a lot of those whiffs coming from that blue side. So hopefully we'll see something good there.
Hopefully will be something great there. Exactly. Hopefully it's going to be that comeback we want to see from the Robins, and just going to have a repeat of what we had. Maybe it's going to be a tit for tat series. It's going to be, okay, you guys take one game, you guys take another, and then it's going to come down to those last few games. So let's see if they can exploit it in that fashion to be ready going into it. Of course, you know, we can't call everything. The Pirates really want that win to go on their side. But the Robins really need this to stay in the match. So they're both kind of working on that same structure. Pirates want to be winning this because they want to win the entire thing. And then the Robins are wanting to win this to stay in the match and prove themselves that they're not going to be as stragglers, especially when they're at the top of the league compared to a 4th in the table team.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I mean, this is that game point. They have 2 games already for the Pirates, 1 for the Robins. This could decide it all for this week if these Pirates are gonna go maybe 3-0. But let's see if that happens. Deadeye Canyon, the match is already going. Pluvo trying to keep this out. Velocity with a quick aggro start for this Robins team, but eventually it's not gonna work out. This one-on-one with Pluvo and DJ. Good save from DJ to get that away.
DJ gets it away and is playing quite comfortably. It's a little bit of a slower game. We do see a little bit of aggro coming out from the Pirates, who are just wanting to maybe pummel it on down and get it in. Velocity, though, does exploit that and says, you know what? We're going to take your aggro and we're going to play against it. And this is the same sort of thing we've been seeing in these past couple games, though, where it comes to a slip up during the aggro period of the match, and it seems to be breaking up into different segments now. We've got an aggressive period of game where both teams are fighting for that first goal. We have a bit of a middling play where they stick to the middle, they ping pong it back and forth, and then at the end they go back into aggro mode where they really need those last couple goals. Smashy is trying best to keep that, but Velocity is reading like a book and taking it on, and they're showing how much they want this next game to bring themselves back into the circuit and really forcing them back to their own goal, which is something that the Pirates don't like seeing, especially after what happened in that second game between these 2 teams.
No doubt about that. And I will say one thing to note is Smashy getting that pass from Pluvo. My goodness, good play from them to get that in and back to 0. I will say, looking at both of these teams, however, we'll see a lot of these 1v1 opportunities. Both of these teams are not trying to exercise their passing, trying to get that going as well from teammate to teammate, but good defense on both sides, and you'll see a lot of those 1v1s between these teams. So it's going to be a matter of who wins these 1v1s. It's going to be truly important. But let's see what happens here. The own goal comes here from the Robins.
Robin's getting an own goal and is in a place where you don't want to be having those sorts of goals. Of course, the Foot will get the claim for that goal because they're allowed to touch it, but Motion and DJ both playing a part in letting that go in, both going for it at the same time, and they just hit each other at the wrong moment. And one of them's like, you know what, we have to hit this ball. It's a 2-1, so it's not the end of the world, but it's still the place where you're in that game where it could be game, set, and match for the Pirates if they keep this lead or continue it. But it's still something they can work with. Smashy and Vuk bring it on back, and now they've got that extra lead. They're really, really going to have to fight to see what comes from it all, because game, set, and match seems very, very delicious to the Pirates right now, whereas the Robins really, really want to go for it. DJ gets that second, brings it to a deadlock, and now, you know, that same situation happens. We could have a repeat of that game too.
Indeed. I will say that was an unfortunate rotation there coming in for Vuk, just playing it to the corner and being out of the position, going for that demo. So it's going to be there 2-2. And I will say, looking at Vuk, though, that own goal, hey, that's going to be nice for his stat pad. But we're looking at it here, 3-19. Good pressure coming in for the Robins. DJ looking for the shot, but not going to quite find it in. And I will say, Pirates are now being a lot more awkward in terms of the defense, in terms of the rotations. Really, Pluto just flailing in the air and across the side wall. So maybe that might be a far cry of what they need to be doing in terms of the rotations there, as we'll see a lot of these good shots, or a lot of these at least pressure coming in from Robins here soon.
Robins putting that pressure on and really allowing themselves to keep that comfort of that second goal, and it's going to be a step of that for the rest of the game because of how much they need to keep winning this. Velocity brings it on forward, and now they're just finding every route, passage, and canal through the defense of the Pirates to make sure they are getting that disparity saturated. It is going to come through back to Pluvo though, so again it's that case of we're having a bit of game of ping pong right now. The Pirates are just pinging it across the pitch and maybe going for a couple of long shots just to try and say it's a defensive play. If I score from it, I score for it. If I don't, at least I removed it from my side of the pitch. Another one going there. Pluvo tries to follow up, but Vuk is also there to try and follow up again. So I think it's going to be a rinse and repeat of this for the rest of the game, because it's both teams really don't want to near their goals, because they both have an incentive at the end of this match to control the outcome of the series.
Now, also looking at this as well, a lot of these are aerial battles. You know, a lot of these are ping pongs. Everyone on each side is going for just very dominant passing aerial plays, and everyone is basically on their back walls. We saw the three players from the Robins just on their backside, waiting for the shot coming in from Pirates. So it's gonna be both it, and that's a good play from Vuk to get the bumper smashy, get that lead for Pirates, and make them one goal farther to getting this W against Robins.
They are one goal closer to that W and one goal further away from the Robins, bringing it back to claim this match as theirs. We see Vuk and Smashy take it all the way in from that kickoff. Goes onto the backboard, but still enough pressure to keep it away from your goal. It's still enough pressure to maybe have an opportunity to tap it in. It's brought all the way back, but Vuk is amazingly grabbing control of that. And now they've got that comfort of that extra goal. We're a minute and a bit away. This is that sort of danger zone where if you make a mistake, you get closer to that overtime. But if you keep control of the ball for as much as possible, you can play as defensively as you like. DJ tries to tackle that defense and, you know, maybe oppose a little bit. Velocity comes in, and we see also Motion coming in to also try and prove themselves at defense. But it's just so strong, and players like this, you see Vuk, Smashy, and Pluvo showing their teamwork, showing their camaraderie. Smashy gets it up to themselves at the top of that pitch, and it's just going to be a similar situation. We're sub 1 minute now, and luckily, looking like it's going to go in favor of the Pirates to give them that strong advantage in the league and just this entire series.
We'll see here, 30 seconds remaining. Robins didn't answer quickly. Velocity trying to go for the 50-50 against Smashy, but not finding it. DJ with no boost at all, getting it out. 30 seconds now remaining on the screen. Motion making the 50-50 and getting demoed in the process. But DJ has something to say, gets on his place and gets that goal, tying it up for the Robins.
They get that goal and tie it up and make it a nice situation, 3 for 3, and now it's going to come down to these 20 seconds left to find either a winner for this game, or just the winner for the series if it goes in favor of the Pirates. If not, you have that overtime, and that's one of those places where, you know, you hate to see overtime in that last game, because you know that as soon as that goal goes in, you've either lost your complete lead or you've lost your control of the game. It does go through. Smashy brings it through. Vuk and Pluvo also trying to find place, and here comes that dreaded overtime just as soon as the ball hits the floor. Both teams keeping it in the air as much as possible. They know what they're doing, but of course it does get brought down by motion. So this next goal decides the fate of the rest of this series. Vuk brings it aerially, brings it down, and both teams have switched on that aggro mode, as you always do in the overtime, because you know if you defend, then you're going to run out of your stamina, you're going to run at your pace. But if you play offensively, then you're going to smash it in the back of the net at some point.
Speaking of Smashy, you'll see if he can get this goal off of that pass, but no dice. And I will say, looking at this from game 2 perspective, we saw the Pirates being a little bit more passive because of that lack of goal differential. They didn't have a lot of that big goal lead, so they couldn't be as aggro, but it doesn't even matter as Smashy from Pluvo finds it and gets the set.
Pluvo finds that game, set, and match goal in overtime. An amazing goal that we've seen over and over again this series, where it's either Smashy plays it into Pluvo and it gets knocked in, or Pluvo plays into Smashy and that gets knocked in. Vuk, of course, always has that place in the team, playing it around the edges, but of course, that is something you always need in that team. You always need that third man to hold you back, take you forward, and it looks amazing on your resume as a player, especially in this style of match where it comes down to that last second and every player needs to have that effort in the overall flow of the match. So Pirates, congratulations on that lead amazingly in that match, and of course commiserations to the Robins, who just fell short in that last second there.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the Pirates now, they are going to be 2-1 in the league now, so congratulations to them. And the Robins are actually going to go down 2-1 as well. So they're going to have an equalized set on the leaderboard. So both congratulations to the Pirates. Wow.
Yeah, just a wow moment, like, especially when it's these top 4 teams where you expect those games to go down to the wire, and that is exactly what we were delivered. The first game and the third game really did show that sometimes these teams can sometimes slip up a bit. They really have to slip back, and they have to slip into these sort of different momentums, but just bringing it all the way forward and then saying, you know what, we're going to take it to that deadlock every single time, and it's only broken by a tiny slip up or a tiny change in motion, or even if it's just like that major thing that just completely overwhelms everyone, and it just really puts everyone off. But just amazing flow of play, and well done to both teams for controlling it for that long and making sure they were the ones who were victorious at the end of each set.
Absolutely, yeah. I just had something caught in my throat. But yeah, we're going to take a short break. We're going to bring it back into our next series, but don't go anywhere. We have some amazing gameplay very, very soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second match of today's stream for the Esports Wales Rocket League League 2. I again am Casher Boy, joined by the amazing Blue Blazing. And we're going to see some familiar faces. We're going to have the Robins this time, but they're going to be going up against the Swans. So a battle of the birds, the avian birds versus the waterfowl. So it's going to be good to see who comes out on top of these winged beasts. This is hoping for many aerial plays. As we are going straight into the gameplay with Velocity playing it straight on forward, so they're really wanting to get this first thing going, and DJ gets that goal. Still a bit sour from how they were in that last series, and getting the first goal, going ahead, taking that lead quite quickly, especially since that happened to them over and over again in the last series we just scored.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the introduction. And looking at the Robins we just saw recently going against the Pirates, they did lose to them, and so now their record is at 2-1, with the Swans being at 1-2 in the current league standings. And I will say, in this best of 5, we saw from the Robins last game, if they have that goal advantage, and then they can start to play a little bit more aggro, and we're seeing that from Velocity. We're seeing him get that goal. Already good start from Robin.
An amazing good start from the Robins, just thwarting their opponents. This gap, in terms of the play, in terms of the table at least, is very similar to what we saw in the Pirates versus the Robins. The Swans being, though, slightly below the Robins, the Pirates, in that 5th place. But Robins are really showing that that one extra space is enough to give them an amazing momentum. 3 goals in less than the tick over to the 4-minute mark is an amazing thing to see. They're out for blood. They weren't happy with that loss they just received, and they are showing their teeth and their fangs, getting themselves ready for an amazing series, what it seems to be.
Indeed, and that series is already starting super strong for this Robins team. As you mentioned, the Battle of the Birds, but hey, it looks like these Robins are cooking the Swans at this point. 4:15 now remaining on the time. DJ with motion, looking to freestyle just a little bit, but couldn't quite connect the play and gets it away.
Couldn't connect the play, gets it away, and it is pulled away for a very short time, as DJ is just straight up in their face, wanting to get the action going. Motion brings it on back, but there was a little bit of a slip up, so they are really showing what they learned from that last series, where they'll let the ball get a little bit too far away and they're just staying in the opposing half. Motion does a couple flip resets, does a couple bit of tricky actions, gets it pulled very far away, gets it towards the goal. DJ is there to collect it. Kemi, though, is showing desire to come very far forward, and we do see the Swans in their first smidge of looking at the opposing side of the field, but it's just brought straight back again by DJ, who lays it down, and sadly it is stopped in the tracks, especially with a very good control of that game so far.
And then quite interesting there, actually, from the Robins, not quite putting any forward pressure at all, but looks like they got the save anyways, and they got the goal. What a return coming in for Velocity, getting himself the hat trick. Beautiful display.
Beautiful display. You know, just controlling the ball all by yourself from one side of the pitch to the other. It wasn't the clearest to pass. There was a couple of times you had to dodge and weave, but when they did it immaculately and got it through the field. We do see IG Pig going for an attempt there, but doesn't get it all the way through, doesn't get the best flow of play, and doesn't get the best shot on goal. DJ is quick to work with motion and velocity to get it towards the opposing goal again, and it's just a rinse and repeat here. We're 4-0 in, looking like it's going to be a 5th if it taps just over. It doesn't cross the line. It was hovering. Players hate to see that. DJ, though, wants to come back in and get a bit more piece of that pie, but unfortunately is pulled all the way back to the halfway line. And Kemi, again, wants to have an attempt at goal, but is stopped in their tracks by an amazing defensive play.
Indeed, and we're seeing this this Swans Esports team trying to retaliate just a little bit more against the Robins. Now, you know, Robins not getting a lot of that pressure as we saw before. Velocity just being the primarily only player getting those goals and trying to get that trying to keep the keep away. And looks like it's really working out for the Swans, but unfortunately the defense overall from the Robins is just too mighty to get through, like a brick wall at this point. So let's see if they can push past that, maybe go some team plays and go through. But hey, Velocity is going to make it number 4.
Velocity making it number 4, and yeah, it's just gonna be a super scary. It's even the 5th goal even at this point. Like we're losing track. It's such an action-packed game with goals going left, right, and center. We're at the 2-minute mark and you're 5 goals up. You have that potential to make this one of those 10-goal games if you really want to. Velocity breaks through that striking force at the kickoff and gets it very, very close. We do see the IG Pig pulls it back, and I think maybe Swans are just hanging their heads a little bit now. They've let so many goals pass that they have to reconsider. They have a few more games to call this back. But is that enough time to call it back and win the entire series? We do see an open goal play is in front of them, but the Robins are just flying on back and they're making sure it doesn't go any further. DJ though pulls it forward and Velocity is able to catch up onto it, but it isn't there quick enough. We see DJ though controls it back on the opposing side, and it's coming a bit close to their goal. They get a little bit greedy, but they're just getting, just greedy enough they can get it close to the goal, but not greedy enough that they're failing when they get too close to it.
Yeah, but the good thing is from the Swan Esports, they're trying to keep this ball in that midfield, and that's really good from them now. This blue side is being bombarded by these Swan Esports players, but Velocity doing what they do best, getting it through all the defensive players and trying to get the shot on the net. Kemi smart to bring that back. Plays it towards the corner of motion, getting the block on that as well. Looking for a play on his own, but that double commit coming in for that. The double commit, I guess, does work for the Robins, and Velocity gonna get another one.
Velocity gets another one for the Robins, and a double commit into a double commit. Just, you're gonna get your 4 commit stat, you're gonna find something at the end of it. 6-0 at this 47-second mark, and the Velocity and the Robins are just getting what they had thrown at them in that first game of the last series, but without even letting a goal past them. So showing why they're at the top of this table and why they deserve to get this win. We see Marvels is trying to control it and bring it back over to that opposing side. IG Pig brings it back all the way, doesn't get it, it's stopped on a boost pad, is brought through, falls over their own feet and doesn't get it all the way. It leaves it open for DJ and Velocity to bring it on forward. Motion brings it across. DJ goes back for it. Kemi has an open goal to shoot into and gets it in, so consolation goal there for the Swans. But they're not going to be happy because that is still only benefiting their goal difference, if anything, because I doubt they can score those 5 goals they need in 20 seconds. That is a goal every 4 seconds, and it's doable. But I don't think the Swans have anything to do it right now. I just gotta wait for those next few games. Motion and DJ calls a couple demos there, allowing the play to go in their favor. Does get pulled back to their half, but they can sit comfortably knowing that they've got 10 seconds left to control this field and be happy with what they're doing. And as long as they get that ball on the floor as soon as possible, they can go into the second game with a 6-1 win, knowing that all we have to do is win 2 more games just like this, and we've won the entire series in a lickety-split win. And there it is, Robins taking that first game, getting their own medicine handed back to them from what they had in the last series.
Yeah, there we go. Robins bringing it back from that last series, as you mentioned, against the Pirates, and Velocity with just a showcase of goals, 5 and 8 there with 1 assist. Hey, I'm glad he got that 1 assist, at least with DJ. But looking at this now, Swans, when you look at it, yeah, it's going to be a huge upset with, Robins and, Robins just dominating over Swans, but at least they got that 1 goal off of that passing play. So they could spark a little bit of something in the Swans to maybe bring this back up, but figure that out in game 2 at DFH if they can really bring that back. We saw it happen with the Robins against the Pirates, where in game 2 they won it and they played a lot more patient. They played a lot more passive in getting those goals whenever they need it. So let's see if the Swans can possibly do the same thing here.
They can possibly do the same thing. Maybe they are watching the stream and can control it that way and say, you know what? We saw you guys lose 6-1, then come back. We're going to go and do the same thing. Of course, the Robins being top of that table and the gap is big enough. 1 through 4 is often just that small enough gap that it could be anyone's game. When you're in 5th place, you're often got those teams who are only just trying to reach into that top place. Swans, if they win, could go over that bar and make it into 4th, so this is a incentive for them. but the Robins are going to keep them down because, you know, yes, it's nice to know that you've helped a team break into that top 4 position, but at the same time, it's nice to know that you're letting players, you know, fall behind and not do as well. Marvels, though, goes straight away for that goal, and that was just so quick that it looked like DJ had gotten a hold of it, but it wasn't a hold just enough. And those goals and those kickoffs, you love to see them because it gives you that instant stamina to keep up the game. You're 1-0 up within seconds of the game starting. You can then say you're 1-0 up for the whole game, 2-0 up for the whole game. It's just the beginning of it all. Velocity, though, breaks that deadlock in the kickoff and quite possibly looks rearing to get that second goal in and giving it a 1-1 tie.
And that is a very great start for the Swans, and let's see if they can continue this. Velocity looking for his number first, but not finding it there. 4 minutes 38, already 30 seconds almost off the clock, and this is looking very, very strong for the Swans, but not getting the second goal that they wanted to break that barrier. And it almost is on the net, but just a little wide. And that's what you don't want from the Swans, those simple, slight mistakes, because as soon as you get these victories, as you see with these pinches, as you see with these amazing goals that they possibly can get, you really want to, you know, get those bounced up a lot more, because as soon as the Robins start getting warmed up and get that, as you mentioned, their first place in the leaderboard, get that kind of aggression and get that momentum back, they're going to start scoring those goals and getting those team plays. So let's see if Swans can possibly get a little bit of a distance here.
We'll see if they get their distance, and we'll see if they can keep that distance strong. They are playing very, very vividly and playing very, very to their outs. They're getting closer and closer to goal than they were in that first game, which is amazing. And it seems the Robins are now forced back in a situation where they've got to be very defensive. Motion decides to break that flow of play and change the routine to give them an offensive play. Velocity has a second attempt at the DJ, fails to get there, but it isn't just reaching the point they want to. And with the Swans realizing what they did in that first game, they're having that same thing that we were talking about where the Robins had that mistake in the first game. So it's like, okay, we saw in his previous series the Robins were behind in game 1, they were destroyed in game 1, but they learned from that. The Swans are doing the same thing. They're learning from their mistakes in game 1, and they're learning even from the strengths of their opponents in game 1 and using some of them for themselves, if not just finding ways to beat those strengths. IG Pig is pulling across their own goal. Velocity goes forward, but it's just again and again finding its way to the goal, but not finding its way in the goal. This is what I'm really loving from the Swans right now.
One thing I'm noticing about the Swans that might be a little bit fatal for them is just how they kind of play off of each other. They don't really go for passes, but more so they kind of see the ball and go for the ball, and they tend to bump one another. So let's see if they can fix that throughout this game. Maybe Marvel's getting the shot, not quite finding the angle, unfortunately, and it looks like it's still 0-1. Kemi doing his best to keep that away. The ball goes straight to Motion. A beautiful pass from Velocity, and it's back to 1-1.
It's back to a 1-1, and Motion and Velocity showing the teamwork they have together. Velocity playing it down, Motion tickling it just under the opposing side there, and it's just enough to rocket it on through. It's 1-1 now, so it's going to be in that situation where both teams are fighting for it, but it's going to be a case of who is going to get those next couple of goals. We now know that the Robins aren't sitting back and relaxing too much. They waited for their moment, and their moment has come. Swan still being very, very oppressive, getting down the field, but DJ wants to be just as possessive, has an open play and scores that second one. This is the Robins we want to see. This is the Robins we woke up to this morning, and this is Robins that are probably going to control the rest of this game. DJ having a one-on-one with IG Pig, but it's just enough to force them into their own net alongside the ball.
I mean, I was talking about this before. You got to create the distance, because Robins, as soon as they get it going, as soon as they get their momentum, they're going to be straight hot off the press. And here we go. They're ready to shock him from Marvel, not finding the angle they wanted, and he's just going out with the good saves. But looking at Robins, they are keeping this heat. Let's see if they can continue the shot. Musty not quite finding it from Velocity, and DJ looking for a good outplay, and it looks like it goes in 2-2.
It was 2 for 2, and Kemi and Marvels both had an opportunity there. You know, Kemi took that long defensive shot, and we had Marvels following up just in case they bounced a little bit too high. I think they've been trying to do a little bit of a goal story. No, you go down the park, the Swans are to steal your bread. But you know, in this situation, the Swans are trying to steal some goals, but it doesn't matter who scored that as long as it went in. 2 for 2 at 1 minute 46. It's not the end of the game. Motion pulls it on back, pulling it back. DJ doesn't get there, but Kemi has a very good flow around the front. DJ gets a hover dough and stops it. Marvels wants a taste of this action as well, isn't able to get too far with those. It is stopped, and Motion brings it on up in the air. They're flying high, just like the Robins they are, but Marvels pulls it down to the ground, giving IG Pig a very clear pass. He takes a shot and gets it, an amazing goal from halfway across the pitch. 3-2 to the Swans, and this is looking to be very, very in their favor now, especially with how well they shifted from that early game situation to now.
Yeah, I mean, this looks almost like an exact replica of our first series that we broadcasted today with the Robins against the Pirates, where the Robins came back just like this. They were down 2. That's the only difference here, and they came back to get the 3-2 victories. Let's see if the Swans Esports can hang on as they are currently and going for those goals. 1 minute almost remaining. Velocity looking for the shot. Kemi, last ditch effort, getting the save with just nothing but his double bounce. And here we go. Good pressure coming in for the Robins, but it's a good 50-50 from Igpig to keep it off the corner. Play is going through Velocity, but not through DJ, and it's back on their half.
It's back on their half, and it's back in their possession. It does go through. IG Pigs and the rest do bring it on forward. We do see Velocity picks it up in a nice situation, gets it through and causes a demo there. Motion gets a hold of it with DJ to their side. DJ though is forced on back, and you hate to be in that sort of position as IG Pig sneaks on through the ceiling to try and get a cheeky goal in. Marvels is supposed to follow up, and IG Pig is back there with Motion is the only stoppage to them. DJ brings that up, and now we're in another case where it's just going to be going back and forth again. IG Pig has a clear shot on goal, just takes it. DJ is quick enough to get to it, but with 7 seconds left on the clock, you really don't have to care. You've got that 3-2 lead, you just have to keep it. It's going to go in favor of the Swans, so 1-for-1, and Robins just falling to that same mistake that they actually exploited in that first round of ride on your opponent's high, and then they will somehow crumble. A 1-goal win goes 1-1. Robins now have to win a couple more games to make sure they clinch this series, but the Swans, they want it as well. They want to nudge up higher into that table.
Absolutely, they are trying to get that nudge on the table, and I mean, they kind of are. We saw the good passing plays, we saw the amazing saves coming in from Swans. They noticed that, hey, Velocity, he was the flashy player that we saw in that game number 1, and just going for those goals, trying to be as dominant as they possibly could. So we're going to put 2 players in the back and keep that 1 player, as the Robins are, in the forward, and it worked very, very well. They expended a lot of Velocity's boost, keeping him away, and just take the 3v2 on the blue half. So strong start coming in from Swans, and I mean, hey, it's back to 1-1. As you just mentioned, you know, it's just kind of similar to that first series we saw. Is, you know, they are reading how Robins are playing, and let's see if Robins has an answer.
I'll just see if they have got an answer to the rest of the series. Robins, of course, you know, they can play hard, they can play fast, they can play strongly, and they're going to want to show that desire for these sorts of things. They're going to want to go ahead and put that pressure down. They're going to want to go ahead and be very, very possessive and oppressive. It comes on through, goes for kickoff, and does go through. Marvels wins it and brings it far away as possible from Velocity and the Robins. So we're already seeing a repeat of that game 1 where the Swans are really dedicating themselves to getting ahead of the game as quick as possible, but it does fail quicker than they did the last time. This pulls straight back to Marvels, who doesn't get quite a hold of it, and is forced straight back to the other side of the pitch. Promotion just gets a lovely little goal, gets it from the halfway, taps it, directs it into the back of that net.
Yeah, motion became no motion, just stopped in general, bounced once, and got a beautiful angle off the top bar there. And there we go. Already a great start coming in for the Robins. I mean, that's what we saw from that game too. Kenny looking to get that goal. It looks like it's going in, and it is. The shot coming in, unfortunately, with the own goal from Velocity. Not what you really want there. And a beautiful kickoff from Marvels.
It's a beautiful kickoff from Marvels, and it's just gonna be that thing that gives them that bonus to push further and closer towards that win they really want, especially when you can go to a 2-1 lead after such a deficit of a game 1. Kemi brings it on down right to the goal line and gets it in after a little fumble across the post. So it is going to go 2-1 to those Swans, and they are waking up now. They are giving themselves that beck and call to want to go ahead and win it. goes through 2-1. It's not the end of the world. We're still about 4 minutes. We still have that 4 minutes 25 to go. But is that enough for them to maybe start putting the pressure on and going for it? Motion brings it back, stopped by, I believe, IG Pig. It is brought back down to the goal again. DJ has to smack it across the face of their own goal to stop it from going further, but it is just good enough to bring it down. But Marvel controls it in the middle of the field and puts a stop to any offensive pressions that was come from the Robins.
Yeah, that's good defense coming here for, this Swans Esports team. They're playing on the walls, they're keeping that pressure, they're going forward when they need to go forward, and they have all 3 players for some reason on the blue half, but a good adjustment there last second. But hey, 4 minutes down, or 4 minutes left in the game already, and we were talking about, hey, they're the 5th seed. They don't have a lot of pressure coming on against the 1st seed here, but I mean, looking at it, they're keeping up, they're on top right now in terms of the series, and playing very, very well with Marvels. Almost looking for the shot right here, and it's in. It's 3-1.
It's 3-1, and it's just amazingly displayed how this can work. It comes on through, Marvels plays it through, gets stopped by DJ, plays it again and bounced off the post. And these are the sorts of goals you like to be seeing, especially against teams like the Robins, who are playing it very aerial. If you can keep it away from their comfort zone, they are gonna slip up and let it in. Marvel straight away goes on through, is forcing Motion into a stick situation. DJ comes through and takes a shot from far out, and then Marvels is back again with IG Pig and Kenny to stop that in its tracks. Goes straight towards the other goal. As we see, it goes through again, and IG Pig gets it. I believe an own goal was entered there, but it still was enough for Kenny's and IG Pig to work together and smack it on in. Motion and DJ and Velocity all going through, but Velocity tapping it into the corner of their own goal. 4-1 to the Swans. This is a dominant game. They've woken up a little bit, they've shaken off the dust and the rust, and they're pushing everything through. Motion, of course, can pull this back if they need to, with Velocity getting that second goal and allowing them to comfort themselves, cushion that lead a little bit more. But it is going to be a case of they're still 2 goals behind, and they have to collect them in the next 3 minutes. Otherwise, it is lights out and going to another match where the Swans can quite easily just win that again and really show them what they are worth.
Absolutely spreading their wings here, but Motion looking for that free goal there. Good demo plays coming in for the Robins to get them away. And I mean, wow. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It wasn't even Robins that got... But essentially getting in the way of IG Pig, losing that last defender, super strong. Now we're seeing the Robins coming back pretty quickly, already in less than a minute, getting those 2 goals back. So very good on there, and getting those passing plays that we saw against the Pirates in that game too, and really pushing that out here. Here we go, DJ looking for Velocity, not finding it, and Kenny looking for the shot. It works out so well. What a read coming from Kemi.
Kemi just reading the flow of play there and just goes ahead and smacks it from as far as possible. Motion tries to catch up, but even if so, Kemi was right behind them to tap that in. It's one of those cases where maybe if Kemi had taken a second touch, that might have actually thrown it off path and gone further, but just amazingly executed and getting it on through. And sometimes you just gotta take the adrenaline rush, you've got to throw it as hard as you can at where you want it to be. Kemi is open to throw it away. Was in a bit of a dodgy situation because it's if you flip the wrong way, you'll knock it towards your own goal. If you flip the right way, you're flipping it away from the goal. Luckily they got it away. IG Pig collects it in the air. Motion though is happy to pick it up from that lovely aerial position they love to be in. Marvels though knocks it straight back, plays it quite high. There's a dem in the middle of the field, which allows a passage for both teams to open through, and they both take advantage of it. Velocity is playing it down though. DJ does catch up as we do see it go across the face of the goal, and Kenny does try and go for another one, but isn't quite close enough, leaving a very open field for the Robins to fly on through and tap it in, but is quickly and swiftly stopped by the Swans.
And this is smart from the Swans here. We're seeing their formation just change up just a little bit. Recently, we saw them when they were down a goal, right? We had 2 defenders, upwards to 3 defenders on their side of the field. But now we're looking at it. Kemi is kind of doing all the dirty work. He's being the primary defender, leaving Marvels and IG Pig up on the side, on the half. But let's see if that can continue here. Only 1 goal lead and a beautiful flush on the backboard read from Motion.
Yeah, Motion just comes off of that backboard alongside the ball and allows for another goal to go in for them. Kemi, was doing so well in the defensive play, but just slips up that last second. It's still a goal between them, so they can still keep that comfort of saying, okay, we've got that one goal, let's cushion it, let's go defensive. But Kemi goes on straight ahead, is leaving their post, is going straight back though, but all season opening and does want to go for it, isn't happy though with it and gets forced unback. Marvels is alongside IG Pig up the front there still, making sure the ball is in the blue half, but Velocity in motion wants to draw that back. They're bringing it on through, they're keeping it safe, but Kemi takes a shot from far out, gets that 6th goal in for the Swans, and they have gone and put themselves in an even more comfortable position. You've got that 2-goal lead that you had earlier in the match, and it's looking like that's going to continue going up and up and up, if not staying static if they can defend well enough. Seems to be a bit of a signal loss on the other side as well. Try and keep up with this game as much as possible. We do see there. Oh, no, we have got you back. Hang on, with my wife, they cut out for a second there. But yeah, so it does seem to be a rinse repeat of this gameplay now. Like, the Swans can try and keep themselves nice and happy. They can even let a single goal in. Like, 8 goal difference is gone, but you've kept yourself nice and happy there.
Absolutely. I don't know why my mic was muted, but there we go. I was talking about how Kemi is definitely the MVP of this game with that 3 goals and just trying to keep. He's not only a player on the defense, he's playing super well on the offense and keeping this ball away. Good stalls coming in from Swans Esports. 20 seconds remain. 2 goals is a far-fetched to get, especially the way that the Swans are playing, and this could be it. 11 seconds remaining. Motion getting bumped in the air. DJ with low boost. And Velocity looking for the angle though, could be strong by IG Pig, holding it down, and there we go. Swans taking it in game number 3.
Swans taking game number 3 in a style we love to see. The match was amazing though. It was back and forth to the very last second, and Swans, they had that 5-4 lead, and they recognized that if they didn't get that next goal in, they were going to be ones who fell behind, and by getting that in, they were happy to control it. They were happy to sit there. They got a little bit shaky towards those last dwindling seconds, where a lot of teams will often say, okay, we've got this lead, so let's try and play a little bit passively, if not a bit sloppily. And then when they saw that last second, they all rushed to action because they realized there's a little bit of a gap they left. Still 6-4 lead, still would have gone to overtime, and they still could have got that last second goal. They've shown they want to get those goals. They have to win 1 more to win this series, and they have to. But we have the same case again when the Robins are now in a position where we saw in the last series we had on our stream, where if they win, they bring it back to a series where they can comfortably go win the whole thing. If they lose, then they've gone and lost another match. And losing 2 matches on stream, always is a sting, a bit of extra salt in the wound, because you just seen all of that. But I think being top of the table, they can really prove to the stream and to themselves that they can do it. They can slip on in through all the action and really put themselves in a win position. Our players are now jumping into this game, which could be our final game, unless the Robins can drag themselves back into a very good position.
And I have to say, looking at it, the Robins really need to bring themselves to the back to their right position, because this is that game, as you were mentioning. The 5th seed is upsetting the 1st seed right now if they can get this win on Deadeye Cannon, so let's see if they can. Marvels in the air, combating 2 of them already. Low boost on the side of this blue half. And I will say, looking at the Robins here, one thing that I did notice was that boost management wasn't really working that great for them, and they got the best of them a lot of the times on the defense. So let's see if that can help fix. Let's see if they can fix that here in game 4 to push this to a game 5.
Yeah, to see if they can push it further, because if they get to that game 5, they've done themselves justice in what they saw in that last series. But if not, maybe it's just going to be lightning striking twice, history repeating itself, and they're falling at that last hurdle again, which is even more of a sting when you do it to a team that is lower than you in the table, especially when the gap is that big. But Velocity opens that gap in this match and makes it a nice, comfortable 1-0. A goal was a bread and butter goal. They had a solid opening. They went for it, not too high, not too low, but it still gives you that. A lovely Phoenix appearing in the goal there in our replay. So the Swans now have to think, okay, we let that first goal in. We know what happens when they get comfy with that goal. Let's try and adapt to this. There is a bit of demo, and we just see the Robins are taking it straight up that pitch again. And I'm thinking it's going to be very similar to that game 1, where they just got that early lead and they score and score and score. And DJ, well done getting that goal, because you just softened the blow for you. 2-0 to the Robins.
And this is something that they're really, really good at doing, is playing that patient ball, playing the passive. They know that this Swans Esports team is playing a little bit more jittery because, hey, I'm the 5th seed about to upset the 1st seed though, so they know they're going to be reacting a little bit more quickly. And this is very good from the Robins to play a lot more passive, a lot more patient, and wait for them to mess up their plays. And it's working very well. But now 2 up already for the Robins. But maybe there's an answer coming from Marvels to get that down to IG Pig, but no, the play can't come through, and it's not going to be there for him.
It's not going to be there for them, and it's not going to be in a good situation. Just tickles up the line there. So it would have been an amazing 3rd goal if that had gone in, but the Swans kicking back into action now and getting those split-second reactions to stop anything from getting any worse for them. They are playing it forward, but Motion plays them back. Kemi catches it in an area battle with DJ. He doesn't get very, very far with it. We have Kemi, IG Pig, fighting to keep it out of their half. It goes on forward. IG Pig collects it. Kemi and Marvels are right there, but it just goes above them, and it's Kemi who comes back for it, but isn't going too far. Just hits the backboard. DJ quite calmly collects that. Has to do the dreaded act of knocking it backwards, and IG Pig gets that goal in. So it's now 2-1. The Swans are kicking back into action.
They are kicking back into action for sure. Beautiful dunk there coming from IG Pig. And I will say, you know, maybe they start a little bit slow. We saw Kemi take the reins, be a very good leader in that game number 3. So let's see if they can bring that back, bring that energy back, and see if we can get those shots again. Motion, reading the high play from IG Pig. Velocity already in the air. That double commit could be a little bit volatile for him, and it does not work out. So that boost is not going to be there coming in for the Robins. Let's see if they have an answer. But the demo coming in on Marvelous could be a good play, but just not quick enough.
Not quick enough to that action, and not able to expedite it soon enough. Did you get a nice open field of play to run through? IG Peak is just taking it up that edge of the pitch, tries to bring it down at the perfect angle, but is caught off guard by Motion. DJ now quite happily collects it, knocks it all the way across the pitch. Marvels though happily does the same back. Then it comes on through and is really, really forced in a bad situation. Kenny is forced all the way back. And now we're just seeing the game happen as it has been before, where it's just going all the way to one side, going all the way back. And the Robins are trying their best to defend this lead because they know one slip up is a gateway for the Swans to pick up where they left off and try and get that 3rd win in a matter of time. 1 minute 45 on the clock, 2-1, anyone's game at this moment right now, but it seems that the Robins are wanting to keep this victory theirs.
And that victory could not be there because IG Pig, off the play coming in from Kemi, gets a beautiful dive motion, having to take the 50-50 against him, and Velocity just not in the right position to block any goal. IG Pig finding it 2-2. Wow.
IG Pig finding it a 2-for-2 and making it so it's going to be even harder trial by fire for the Robins. They had such a very, very good lead in that game 1 and had an amazing lead for this match here, but it isn't going to be enough for the flow of play. The DJ shows they want to stop that, make sure that they can control what this match is. It's 3-2 with 1:22 left on the clock, and I think we're going to be seeing one of those games now where it's going to be goal for goal, back and forth until someone smashes in that final one. Whether that comes in overtime, we cannot know yet, but with this 1 goal cushion, Robins really need to start defending.
Mechanics on both of these teams are very, very highly skilled at the moment. We saw that beautiful play from Motion to get across field to get the pass down to DJ. So let's see if there's any answer from Swans to bring that back. IG Pig, a little bit awkward situation. Motion, oh my, the demo on DJ from Kemi. Oh, what a tying play from the Swans Esports.
Swans Esports just amazingly read that like a book. All three players up at once, Motion all by himself until DJ comes up last second, but Marvels has the final piece of that pie and just slots it in the back of the net from a classic style of goal. It's 3-3. Overtime is imminent if we can't see a team scoring a goal here. And I think with Swans, with the action they've been showing so far, I think they might be getting it if they can hold their pace. But we see the Robins are pushing it further and further towards that goal. DJ gets an open flow play to Velocity, who just misses it. And Kemi is there back to pick up every piece. Motion pulls it on down, brings it on through, but Kemi gets that tap. And it's going up in the air here, there, everywhere as Velocity brings it on down to the goal, and then an amazing save again by Kemi. DJ picks it up and shoots it away. The backboard is the saver in this one. Motion isn't there. Marvels gets there before it gets to them. It's forced all the way back to this goal, and Blue, I think it's gonna be the overtime here in this game 4.
I agree. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. 10 seconds remaining. Teams locking each other in, trying to go for any defensive to offensive play, but no dice available. Velocity in an awkward situation. Kemi looking for the shot. It's off the backboard, but 2 double commits coming in for both sides. Velocity looking to bring this down. Kemi keeping it all the way up, and looks like we're going to overtime.
Overtime is here, ladies and gentlemen. It goes to a very roaring start. Motion gets a very open play to play it through, but it's stopped in their tracks. But it is always Lost who comes in. Kenny is able to knock it as far as DJ, who doesn't get quite a good grasp of it. Kenny goes in for it. Kemi, RGB has another touch. Kemi plays it away from the goal. It's up and out, but not in the worst situation. Marvels is looking for Motion to come down to stop them. Forced into that corner. It is then pulled through. Kenny gets another hold of it, and it is Lost who comes for a taste. Doesn't quite get it as Marvels is aerial, high and dry. Only Motion there to stop them, and it's just in a very, very shaky situation. IGP is to anyone who's back. The Swans are really dedicating themselves to getting this 4th goal to clean up this set, but the Robins want to go for that next game as they do pilot it towards with Velocity, kept up by Motion, but it's just too hard for them to get it in this situation. The adrenaline must be rushing for these players.
Hey, the adrenaline's rushing for them players, with myself as well. The 1v1 with Kemi and Motion, the double commit in the air. This could not be great for the Robins, but it looks like it works out. Velocity trying to get any play. Motion looking for the dime. It looks like it's going in. There's no jump from the defense, and we're going to a game 5.
Going to that coveted game 5, and what a way to go into it. The overtime goal hits that top corner. Looks like it's going to be going off of the crossbar and out, but the Robins, they know their angles, they know their shots. A lack of a jump there from the defending team could have been the savior there, but just no jump and no defense. It's simple, you know, sketchbook plays here in Rocket League. If you don't go for the ball won't come for you, and it just allows for that 4th goal to go in. And it changes heavily and greatly. It now favors players in the Robins to try and pick up the pieces after what they did in this game here. The Swans, they can work towards it. They can maybe see what they went wrong. They had an amazing spring back in that game. I want to see them preserving that style of play and preserving how they were with that energy, with that passion in the later turns of game 4 to bring it back in game 5. They have to break this deadlock so that it can say they beat top of the table and maybe ride on that high even further for the next few games and the next few weeks to make sure they climb up and up and up that table and maybe even match the Robins in what they're doing, not both in this match but in the entire tournament.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, if they can match them in the entire tournament, really make a name for themselves and say, hey, I know we were 5th seed, I know we were down on the leader, but we are a team in contention, and we're seeing this right now. They are going to a game 5 at the beautiful Champions Field. So let's see if they can bring themselves up, get those plays, get that strong start that we saw in that game number 2, and bring them to victory. Let's see it. We're going to see Swans and Robins.
Swans versus Robins coming at it in a climactic and amazing start to go straight towards that opposing goal. Motion and DJ have to rush back as quick as possible to make sure that gets stopped going through, and the action is just going super duper quick. Here we are. going through. DJ pulls it on through, goes for goal, but just curls across in the wrong direction. Marvels gets it as far as Motion, plays it past Motion, gets it up to the corner of that goal, and there's a difference in play here coming from both teams. Kenny plays it on through. Motion is the one to deflect it away, and it goes back to that middle section where it's going to be going back and forth a little bit. As it goes float towards the goal, Kemi has to stop it on the wire there, but going to be a fun game from the looks of it.
No doubt about that. Both teams fully aggro, not paying attention to a lot of their defensive plays until the other team is there. And we're seeing both of them trying to go for any plays with the teams. I'm liking how I'm seeing with the Robins. They're playing more defensively and trying for team plays, the passes, which is a strong start. Whereas instead we're seeing the Swans Esports play a lot more aggro, trying to just go for dart shots on the net. So let's see if that can happen here. Velocity trying to get it towards Motion, looking for the pinch, gets a little bit of it and goes through. IG Pig trying to get it to Marvels, looking for a play in the midfield. No one there, unfortunately, and it gets that pressure back to the orange side.
Gets the pressure back to the Swans and their side of the field. Motion plays it backwards towards the goal, tries to get it in a little cheeky backwards flip. Velocity gets it high in the air. Marvel doesn't want to do too much. He would usually come back though, goes back and forth. And now when we saw those ping pongs that go back and forth across the pitch, we're seeing it go up and down this time. Marvels collects it where Motion can't grab it, but Motion is quick to the action, pulls it all the way through, is very, very open. And it's looking to be one of those tight games again, but Velocity tries to break that deadlock. DJ looks to collect where those goes wrong. IG Pig pummels it up the pitch, but is quickly collected by Motion, who is Joe's over Marvels, who is luckily saved by IGP again at the back there. So now we're seeing the players getting very, very technical as well as very, very physical and practical here. They're playing everything to their ouch. That's why it's 0-0 right now. They're trying to find the best moment to strike, whether that be an accident, that a slip up, or a purposeful play. It is going to come from somewhere, but it looks like they're all just waiting for that split second when they can exploit it.
Absolutely. Both of these titans of a teams are trying their best to go through each other's defenses, but no, we're not seeing any amount of getting that through. But here we go. This could be the play they want. Velocity not getting it through. Kemi and Marvels trying to get that through. Now 2 minutes remaining. Half the game already over. We've seen in the past 4 games these goals would have been set in stone. Game 1 being almost a blowout, and games 3 and 4 being super, super close. But here we go. The one-on-one Motion getting up in the sky all the way to DJ and getting that through. Now Kemi just tossing it over. Marvels looking for the play from IG Pig. This could be a strong start coming in from Swans if they can get the collected, but they can't quite get the play going, and this could be a play here. So a lot of ping pong in these last few seconds.
Been a very, very big game of ping pong. We should change this game to rocket ping pong with the way these players are playing. Of course, nothing wrong with that when you are doing that. It's just a way of defending. Motion brings it across the field, only gets about halfway before it stopped in their tracks. Velocity picks it up this time and is always going to be looking for their best power in motion to come through. IG Pig stops it there, tries to play it across the goal, is playing very, very defensively and is just short. Motion gets that first goal. Motion is the catalyst to this victory, it seems. DJ plays it on up and high. Motion drags it down. Marvels can't get a hold of it. IG Pig is just short of it, and it goes in that top corner. So we're at 1 minute stage this time. I believe it's the latest opening goal we've had in this series, and when you get a goal this late, it's an amazing thing to see because you can hold on to that goal until that 0 seconds ticks over. Now we've entered that minute remaining, and they must be rubbing their hands. They did so well to get where they are, and the Robins are so happy to get it. They go for another shot, it bounces off the side, and there's the demolition right in front of the goal, and it's Velocity who comes on through with an open goal to shoot into. Has to control it though, and it's stopped ever so swiftly, and it looks like it's still gonna be that 1-0 unless the Swans can get that final goal to draw it into a 1-1 overtime, which is always a sting when you do so well to that late goal in a game 5.
We're seeing this now. The pressure is coming in, and it's working well. Coming in for the Robins, we're seeing DJ with that clean pass in motion, just diming it right in. But I'm going to talk about Robins for a quick second, and we're seeing their aggressiveness now. They got that 1 goal. They kept it on that Swan side and never let that pressure go. Super strong to see them like this now. And hey, they're up 2 goals with only 20 seconds remaining. Can they get the play motion? Looking for the double. That's not going for into the net. And IG Pig using the last of his boost to get that away.
IG Pig just clearing the goal. You got 20 seconds, not even that, you got 7 seconds left with that 2-0 ahead of you. And you can maybe try and sneak a goal in before it hits the floor, just to try and say you got that 1 extra goal for your goal difference between you, 4th and 6th. But at the same time, you still lost the match. You got to play to every out, knocked down onto the field. The Robins take it to the floor, controlling that game, set, match, and series. So amazingly played by our players here. 3-2 to the Robins after this whole thing, and what a way to get it. You go ahead in that first game, you fall behind in the next few, and then you draw it back in that later stage. And that's just what you love to see in Rocket League. You love to see those situations where, since it's such a short game, you can either completely hammer your opponents, or you can wait to that very last minute to knock a few in. And what we saw in that game, where they waited and waited and waited for that split second where they could get the goal, and there's then enough to comfort them where there's only a minute left. They knew they could defend if they could find an opening, get a second, get a third, and that's what they went with. That second goal was crucial to their victory, because the Swans were looking like they're going to get that win, looking for that overtime, but just were out of grasp in the dwindling seconds of that match.
No doubt. I mean, that was such a clean win at the end. They figured out the momentum, figured out the tempo that they needed, and hey, it just worked out in the end. As we mentioned, hey, they are the first seed in this entire league right now, and makes sense how they got the win. But don't fret, look at the Swans as well, 5th seed. The people thinking they were going to lose, and they almost upset them. So this is a great opportunity for the Swans to be like, hey, we almost beat the first seed. We actually have a chance in this league to go very, very far. So never fret on the Swans there. Very good performance overall. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for our broadcast. I want to say thank you so much to all the viewers for tuning in to the Esports Wales League. Really appreciate y'all for coming in, and I wanted to shout out Esports Wales for bringing us this amazing event. This league has been so great so far. Only week number 2, and it's been so great. So or excuse me, week number 3 now. But now I honestly wanted to say, Calcio Boy, thank you so much for being a part of my, cast here. And I want to ask, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on, I believe, Instagram, pretty much every major platform, even Threads, because that's a thing now. All of it is the same, at Casual Boy. There's a couple people with the same name as me, so if you see my mug on the profile picture, then that's me there. And of course, I'd say thanks for having you along as well. It's anywhere we can find you if we want to catch some more of your footage or whatever you do off of the Rocket League casting scene.
No, absolutely. I am Twitter, just put it in the chat, and yeah, I do a lot of Omega Striker, more of an ice hockey kind of 3v3 kind of thing, so I've been doing a lot of that. So you probably catch me this Friday doing a cast on there, so it's gonna be very, very fun. But yeah, also shout out to our producer Rohan of Gondor, doing all of God's work, doing some amazing things in the background, so good stuff on him. But yeah, absolutely, this was Esports Wales League number 2. Great to see y'all again, and we'll be back with some more Rocket League next Wednesday. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.